Alright, yo, what's good, everybody? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny Finesse. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's a couple days late, but whatever. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? But we have another Jimmy Highroller video. We are witnessing history in the making. If you're new to the channel and haven't subbed yet, make sure you hit that sub button. We are on the road to 1,200 subs. That being said, let's get into it, man. Let's get right into it.
Valuable player in the NBA. Is it strictly based off of producing
These last couple days, I was posting like Call of Duty videos.
wins for their team? Do you factor in the historic significance of their performance?
I really was just chilling. Damn, the mic's in the way. I really was just chilling. Like, I didn't feel like posting any videos. I was playing Call of Duty the whole time, so I might as well put that content up. You know what I'm saying? Give y'all something to watch. Y'all didn't even watch it.
Is game after game? Is it about being the most versatile and complete player? Or maybe it's a combination of all of these things. There's no exact science behind the elusive NBA MVP award and who we determine who it is. But what happens when a dozen different players are playing like the most valuable player, but only one of them can go home with the award?
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people playing good this year. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of people playing good this year. But that's
Today's
every
video
year,
is sponsored by Raid Shadow.
That's every year.
My favorite fact is you champion.
Every year, everybody plays good, bro.
He won the regular season MVP.
Every year, everybody plays good. That's why.
Prior to 1981, the regular season MVP award was voted on by the players. You would think this method of deciding the most valuable player in the NBA was better than what we have today, with members of the media voting for the MVP. This was far from the case. The vote.
I'm not gonna lie. I would prefer players voting because media like controls what's going on. They don't even hoop, and they could be pushing the
voting results of some of these seasons was absolute mayhem. Back in 1972, a young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was by far the best player in the NBA, averaging 35 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists a game while leading the Bucks to 63 wins. And as a result of playing like Jesus in a Bucks jersey, Kareem walked away that season as the league MVP. But that didn't stop players from voting like they didn't know what MVP even stood for. Because that season, there weren't just a few players who received first place MVP votes. There weren't a handful of players. There wasn't 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 or 17 or 18, but 19 players from 16 different teams who received first place MVP votes. But get this, there were only 17 teams in the NBA at the time, which means nearly every single team in the NBA had a player that received an MVP vote that season.
So did they pick themselves or like? Cause to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. If I was balling, I would pick myself. I don't care. I would pick myself.
And you're probably thinking some of these players received votes from their teammates or maybe even voted for themselves.
Yeah, like
but
I do that
no.
shit.
The league prohibited players from voting for anyone on their team or voting for themselves. These voting results were completely authentic and completely unhinged. Now this season, there will more than likely not be 19 players who receive MVP votes. In fact, this season is so loaded with all-time elite talent that there will be multiple players who will have historically great seasons this year, and they won't even get a mention for the MVP. Luka, Giannis, Curry, Tatum, Morant, Embiid, Jokic, SGA, Booker, Mitchell, Durant. All
shit, we could take out Booker, we could take out Mitchell, we could take out Durant. We could take out Shy if the team is not winning. And then after that, you just got everybody. Joker can't win it again. He won it twice in a row. He's not winning it again. Giannis won it already. I don't think that would be the way to go if y'all did that. I feel like Joel should win MVP because he got snubbed. Like, what y'all think? Put in the comment section.
All playing at an MVP caliber in what is quickly becoming the greatest statistical season in NBA history. If you combine points, rebounds, and assists, here are the combined statistical totals of every MVP in modern NBA history. Sometimes this total is relatively low, like Steve Nash's 2005 MVP, but sometimes it's off.
That one is crazy, because LeBron should have won that one. LeBron should have won that one, but they gave it to him. And look at this stat total under 30, and he won that. Look at all the other MVPs. Like, look how low it is, bro.
the charts, like Russell Westbrook's record-breaking total of 52.7 in 2017. But on average, since 1980, league MVPs had a total of 42 combined points, rebounds, and assists. So if a player can reach this number, 42, it's a solid indicator that they are on a path to becoming the league MVP, or at least a front-runner. This season, SGA, Ja Morant, Tatum, Durant, Curry, Embiid, Giannis, and Luka are all averaging...
Oh, Luka may win. Luka may win. I forgot about Luka. They're gonna make Luka win. No cap. Joel not getting that shit. Luka gonna get
totals of more than 42. This is unheard of, and it's going to leave a tough decision for the voters of the coveted award. There are currently 6 players across the league who are averaging over 31 points a game. The last time this many players averaged at least 31 a game was, well, never. In fact, in the last 15 seasons combined, there have been 6 players who averaged at least 31 points per game.
Shit.
Let me say that again.
6.
There are as many players averaging at least 31 points per game this season as...
And the crazy part is they took that drawing foul thing away, like that James Harden rule type shit. They took that away. You can't be making fouls like that. They took that away.
There were players who averaged over 31 points per game in the last 15 seasons combined. The NBA has never seen anything like this. And yet the numbers get even crazier. Offensive box plus minus is one of the better statistics at quantifying a player's offensive impact. In fact, here are some of the greatest offensive seasons since the league began tracking the stat back in 1974. Here's Steve Nash's 2006 MVP season. Here's Derrick Rose's MVP season in 2011, right next to Giannis's first MVP season. But we're not even close to the best offensive seasons of all time. Here's Magic Johnson's MVP season in 1990. Here's Russell Westbrook's MVP season and Kevin Durant's MVP season. And just above that are the best of the best. James Harden in 2019, LeBron in 2009, Tracy McGrady in 2003, and Steph Curry's unanimous MVP season in 2016. Steph remains the only player to ever surpass the plus 10 threshold in offensive box plus minus. And this season, he's doing it again. But even better, Steph is currently having, statistically, the best offensive season in modern NBA history.
Damn.
So where does all of this put Steph in the MVP race this season?
Damn. They're gonna start making arguments that Curry's the best, one of the GOATs.
10th.
Even though
the man is 10th on the MVP ladder. Now, one of the main reasons why Steph's offensive impact is at an all-time high is due to his mind-boggling efficiency.
I ain't gonna lie though, it's gonna come down to what they place at the end of the season, like where they bring their teams to.
At this point, it's become universally agreed upon that Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. But this season, he's taken his shooting and scoring to another level. Because at the moment, Steph has the highest true shooting percentage of any player to ever average at least 30 points per game. Or 29 points per game for that matter. Or 28 points, or 27, or 26, or any point per game average even remotely close to his. To find a player who scored more efficiently than Steph has this season, you have to go all the way down to just 16 points per game from Jarrett Allen last season. But Jarrett's a big man whose shots consist of 3-foot layups. What about perimeter players? Guys who take jump shots? Well, there has never, ever been a single perimeter player who had a season with a true shooting percentage as high as Steph's is this season. Not at 30 points per game, not at 20, not at 10, not even at 5. It has never happened. This season, Steph is shooting at a higher percentage than any perimeter player in the history of the NBA while scoring 32 points per game. The man is 10th on the MVP leaderboard. So if Steph is 10th, which players could possibly be putting together a better season than him? Well, one of those players is Jayson Tatum, who has led the Celtics to one of their best starts in franchise history. Currently, the Celtics have a net rating of 7.7, which is on pace to being the best net rating the organization has had in its entire existence. This season, Jayson Tatum is averaging 31, 7, and 5 a game, which is a stat line that is so absurd that
crazy.
Prior to this season, there have only been 3 players in NBA history to achieve it. Those players were Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Kevin Durant. The man is putting up all-time GOAT level numbers. He is third on the MVP ladder because the 2 players ahead of him are on path to completely redefining the standard of an all-time great season. Throughout NBA history, there have only been 3 players to win a league MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Michael Jordan in 1988, Hakeem Olajuwon in 1994, and Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2020. Of all the accomplishments a player can achieve, this might just be the rarest and most impressive. And Giannis might just do it again this season. Because if his record-breaking 2020 MVP campaign wasn't dominant enough, he's somehow replicating those numbers again this season.
Better. Same thing. A little less, little same.
Giannis is not only averaging 31, 12, and 5 a game, he's doing it while being the best defensive player in the entire NBA. Giannis is playing like a Shaq-Tim Duncan hybrid right now, and it's just become so normal at this point that nobody's even talking about it.
That's the crazy part.
And somehow, one player is having an even better season than Giannis is. Last season, en route to winning his second MVP, Nikola Jokic shattered just about every advanced metric. Jokic led the league in win shares, box plus minus, value over replacement, and he set a new all-time record for the highest single-season PER in league history.
Oh my God.
Now, the old record was one that stood for half a century, when Wilt Chamberlain averaged a modest 50 points and 26 rebounds a game, which earned him a PER of 32.08. For 5 decades, even the best players the league has ever seen could not touch this mark. Not LeBron, not Bird or Shaq, not even Michael Jordan. But Jokic managed to not only break Wilt's record, he shattered it. And this season, Luka Doncic is on pace to beating Jokic's record. At the moment, Luka is averaging 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. So if Jayson Tatum's stat line was historic, what does that make Luka's stat line? Well, here's a list of every player in the history of the NBA who has averaged at least 34, 8, and 9 a game. That's the whole list. That's it. There's nobody else. Luka is on pace to breaking the NBA record for player efficiency while averaging a damn near 34-point triple-double. And that, ladies and gentlemen, might just be what it takes to win an MVP this season. But what about some of these other players who are having awesome seasons? Well, to put into perspective just how insane you have to be playing right now to even crack the MVP leaderboard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 31 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds a game on 53% shooting while having one of the highest PERs in NBA history. He is 7th on the MVP leaderboard. Kevin Durant is averaging 37 and 5 a game on career high efficiency. Take a wild guess at where he lands on the MVP leaderboard at the moment. Nowhere. Durant isn't even on the MVP ladder right now. One of the greatest players to ever lace up is in the midst of one of the most productive and efficient seasons of his entire career, and the man can't even crack the MVP leaderboard. But both SGA and KD are doing amazing things on losing teams. What about the players who are playing like the league's most valuable player on winning teams, like Devin Booker? Booker is leading a title-contending team to one of the best records in the NBA, and he's averaging career highs across the board in production and efficiency, putting up 28, 6, and 5 a game. The man was first-team All-NBA last season, and he's playing even better this season. But this season is not like any other, because Devin Booker is 8th on the MVP ladder. Oh, but what about Joel Embiid? The beast in the East just put up one of the greatest regular season performances in NBA history. No, really. Embiid's 59-point bomb against the Jazz last week was the 7th best regular season game in league history. Yeah, that guy is 6th on the MVP ladder. 32, 10, and 5 a game, literally prime Shaq numbers. And the man hasn't even cracked the top 5. You've never seen this before, and neither have I. The MVP.
So just imagine how the game will look in like 5 years. There's just gonna be so many records broken on the regular. Like, The game is going to change.
P-Race this season is deeper than it's ever been. What was once considered a historically great season may not even earn a player any MVP votes at all this season. The standard
they're gonna have to like you're gonna have to like do something about that. Like, I would say slow the pace down, but at the end of the day, this is a business. They have to make bread. So
takes to be the most valuable player in the NBA has reached an all-time high, and it's going to take an all-time season to win the coveted award. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until next time.
Nah, but this season's going crazy, man. Even the Kings is going crazy, y'all. Even the Kings is going crazy this year, bro. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, you obviously liked the video, so you obviously got to subscribe. Make sure you hit that sub button. We on the road to 1,200 subs.